Well, I'll officially say good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for coming. It's great to see everyone. I'm Cynthia Helpingstein, and I'm the Program Director of MU's Coulter Translational Partnership Program. And we're here today to celebrate the third annual selection of the Coulter Program's Translational Research Awards. These research awards are designed to give promising medical discoveries a final boost in funding to help them successfully make the step from the laboratory research to commercial investment. At the University of Missouri, our faculty members conduct groundbreaking research into health conditions such as cancer and heart disease, which affect millions of people. Many of their discoveries hold great promise to improve the lives of people throughout the world. However, these research projects often require a final bit of investment to demonstrate their technical feasibility and their potential to help patients and society. Today's grant announcements mark the third year of Coulter program grants, and they represent the efforts of many people. In fact, you'll notice in the printed programs and on the screens, we're recognizing all the research teams from the past 3 years. We also want to recognize MU Chancellor R. Bowen Lofton, to my left, Dr. Jerry Parker, to my right, Associate Dean for Research at the University of Missouri School of Medicine and co-principal investigator for the MU Coulter Translational Partnership Program. Also like to recognize Dr. Jinlu Tan, Principal Investigator, also to my right, of the Coulter Program and Chair of the Bioengineering Department. Dr. Hal Williamson, to my left, Executive Vice Chancellor for Health Affairs and the Coulter Program Oversight Committee. I'd also like to thank Dr. Jamal Ibda, who is co-director of the MU Institute for Clinical and Translational Science, who has been instrumental in the success of the Coulter program. Now I'd like to turn the microphone over to MU Chancellor Dr. R. Bowen Lofton, who will speak about the research environment at Mizzou.
Thank you, Cynthia, and you wore the right uniform today, too.
Thank
you for that. Good morning, all. It's good to be here. Just a little personal reflection, first of all. Last fall, I was considering joining this team, and I was looking carefully at the University of Missouri, which I knew a bit about from my very early days in research, and wanted to know more about before I considered really being a candidate for this position, at the final level anyway. What struck me very quickly in looking at this university from the outside in was the collaborative atmosphere here. I've been 40 years in higher education, and I've collaborated a lot, but I know how hard it is. It's very difficult to reach outside of your department, outside of your college or school, and build the kind of relationships you have to be a successful collaborator in a multidisciplinary fashion. That's hard to do. What caught my eye very quickly was actually bioengineering and the School of Medicine. That was an extraordinarily tight relationship. And since I've gotten here on campus, I can hardly walk around the campus in a given day and not see an example of bioengineering collaborating with medicine. It's pretty special. The other piece of this to me was the unique characteristics of this university. Very few universities in the country have a School of Medicine, a School of Veterinary Medicine, and a robust agricultural program, including animal science. That's pretty rare. Maybe half a dozen in the country have that. So we're talking about a very small number. The school I came from, in fact, has that, and this school, of course, here has it as well. And that struck me as well because it gives you really a matrix or a host mechanism to foster translational work in a very fundamental way. This idea of one medicine, one health is catching on a bit now nationally, and only a few schools like Mizzou can actually make it happen. You know, we have a great School of Medicine here, we have a great School of Veterinary Medicine, and we have a robust animal science program. Those put together make it really exciting and possible to do things almost nobody else can do in terms of connecting research at a fundamental level to the environment where we can translate that into useful things for human health as well. That's rare. You add in the most extraordinary research reactor in the United States, and Mizzou becomes then unique, truly unique. So these are the kinds of observations I made before I got here and shortly after I arrived. And so I'm so proud to be able to be part of this particular announcement today and to recognize some of the great things that have gone on here. A few examples I'll mention involving this kind of collaborative atmosphere are new treatments for prostate cancer using nanotechnology, better treatments for joint injuries using new techniques for preserving healthy tissue in cartilage transplants. With my knee situations today, I really look forward to this as being a great help to me personally. This Coulter program is really a testament, and really confirms my own observations of what this school is really all about in terms of a collaborative environment directed at translational activities. The Coulter project selected this year involved 9 co-investigators from the MU School of Medicine and College of Engineering, along with one researcher from the University of Missouri, Kansas City, and one from Columbia University in New York City. To tell you more about the importance of these collaborations and the projects they represent, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jerry Parker, Associate Dean for Research at the MU School of Medicine and co-PI for the MU Coulter Translational Partnership Program. Jerry?
Well, thank you very much, Chancellor Lofton. I certainly want to echo your comments. The University of Missouri is an ideal venue for the Coulter Translational Partnership Program for all the reasons that you mentioned. At MU, we are known for working across disciplines to solve complex problems and for making important discoveries. But in a number of ways, the Coulter program is enhancing our capabilities. First, collaboration across medicine and engineering, while always strong, is becoming much more dynamic and outcomes-oriented as a result of the Coulter program. Second, the Coulter Bridge funding provides support for our translational research teams at a critical stage of their development and is helping to move our MU technologies from the bench to the bedside and beyond, indeed, towards products and services that can enhance health, just in the way that Wallace Coulter originally envisioned. Third, the Coulter partnership affords an extremely important learning opportunity for many of us on the campus that are actively involved in commercialization activities. Successful commercialization requires a high degree of operational discipline and a keen appreciation for market realities and the competitive landscape for products. So the Coulter program is helping MU to achieve even higher levels of translational research performance. To obtain funding, each Coulter team is required to include a clinician and an engineer. In addition, the projects being announced today were all rigorously reviewed by an oversight committee that included entrepreneurs, industry representatives, venture capitalists, and others from the scientific and business communities. The committee selected research projects that demonstrate both scientific rigor and that meet a well-defined clinical need. All of these projects have the potential to benefit patients in very real and practical ways. I would now like to invite Dr. Jinlu Tan, Principal Investigator of the Coulter Translational Partnership and the Chair of Bioengineering, to announce the recipients this year.
Thanks, Dr. Parker. We have 6 projects this year, and as Dr. Parker said, each project team is led by an engineer and a clinician. And when I introduce you, please stand and be recognized if you're present. The first project is led by Dr. Randy Curry from the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department and Dr. Renee Sullivan from Internal Medicine. They are working on a technology that would dramatically improve the efficiency of antennas used for implantable devices like pacemakers. So if you have a more efficient antenna, you will reduce the size of the device and also prolong the life of the device, the battery life of the device, which are very important features of those devices. And the next team is led by Dr. Raghu Canning and Dr. Imlak Singh. And Dr. Canning has a joint. And they are both from the radiology department, and Dr. Cannon also has a joint appointment in bioengineering. And they are working on a molecular probe that will help detect a recurrent and a metastatic breast cancer, which is a very important unmet clinical need. Please be seated. And the next project team is led by Dr. Shubhra Gangopatiya from the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department here, and Dr. Carol MacArthur from UMKC. Dr. MacArthur also has an adjunct appointment here at the School of Medicine at MU. They are working on a nano-based structure that would dramatically increase the greeting signal strength so that you can detect pathogens such as the tuberculosis at the point of a care type of environment. And that's very important for low resource areas of the world. That's a very exciting technology. The next team consists of Dr. Clark Hong from Columbia University, not University of Missouri Columbia, but Columbia University on the East Coast, and Dr. Jimmy Cook from orthopedic surgery. I don't think either one of them can make it here. They are working on an engineered cartilage allograft for repairment of cartilage, knee cartilage. And they are unable to be here, but we are very excited about that project. By the way, Columbia University is another one of the 15 Coulter schools, and this is the very first time we collaborated with another Coulter school to co-found a project. The next team is working on a different technology to improve cartilage transplant, and the team is led by Dr. Ferris Pfeiffer and Dr. Jim Stannard, and they are both. Dr. Stannard must be working in the OR. He's transplanting cartilage. And they are taking a different approach. They are trying to come up with a new technology and instruments to improve the surgical procedure. So the technology will allow surgeons to cut the donor cartilage in an exact shape and a size that will match the area of cartilage that is removed. So that will improve the outcome of a surgery, and that's a very exciting technology. And the last but not least, the final project is again also led by Dr. Raghu Canning from bioengineering and radiology, and Dr. Jeremy Arthur from pathology and atomic sciences. They are working on a nanorod-based imaging technology to detect quite a range of biomarkers for various different cancers. And that's a very exciting technology. So this is a very small sample of the kind of research MU researchers are engaged in, but they are very exciting. And we hope through Coulter funding will help accelerate the pace of commercialization so that these technologies will be on the market and benefit patients. So this is a very exciting program. We are very grateful and excited about having this partnership. To tell you a little more about the Coulter Foundation and why we value this program, I'm glad to introduce Dr. Hal Williamson, Executive Vice Chancellor for Health Affairs. Yeah.
Thanks very much. Hello, everyone, and thanks for being here. My role is to tell you a little bit about Wallace Coulter, and I think you'll quickly understand how his spirit and his beliefs about how science and medicine and entrepreneurship work together sort of live on in both the themes that you've heard and in the people that you've heard introduced this morning. It's exciting to see. So Mr. Coulter was an inventor, he was an entrepreneur, and he was a visionary. He was the co-founder and chair of the Coulter Corporation, which is a worldwide medical diagnostics company headquartered in Miami, Florida. His passion for applying engineering knowledge to scientific research led him to invent the Coulter principle. The Coulter principle is a method for counting and sizing microscopic particles suspended in fluid. He also was the founding father in the field of laboratory hematology, which is the science and the study of blood. And I'll divert just for a second here and give you a distant but important contact between myself and Mr. Coulter. And there was never any personal contact, I want you to know. But back before the dawn of time, when I was a medical student, we actually learned how to count cells in a chamber through a microscope. And we actually did that on the patient wards in the hospital, and people made decisions based on the results that we provided. And I would like to tell you that medical students were very efficient and very accurate at counting white blood cells, but I think that wouldn't be true. So every medical student back when I was a medical student knew about the Coulter counter and was very happy when it came. And it's a perfect example of how his principle really was able to be translated into something that made patient care much better and much more efficient. During the Great Depression, Mr. Coulter was unable to complete his college education, so he launched an amazing career in biomedical engineering from a laboratory in his garage. Fortunately, as far as I know, none of our investigators will be in a laboratory in their garage, although some of them probably feel like they're in a garage, but they're not. They have good laboratories. Thanks to the Coulter Foundation, the scientists we are recognizing here today have more advanced technology and much greater financial resources to further their discoveries. The common bond, though, between our scientist and Mr. Coulter is a shared passion for discovery, for innovation, and for collaboration, and that's why I say his spirit lives on. I'm convinced that Mr. Coulter would be impressed today to see the biomedical innovations being developed here at MU and elsewhere, and with the support of his foundation. Thanks for the opportunity to speak with you today, and thank you to the Coulter Foundation for their continued support for research at the University of Missouri. Now I want to turn the podium over one last time to Cynthia.
Well, thank you, Dr. Williamson. I want to thank everyone again for coming today. It really means a lot to have you all here. And I also want to offer my personal congratulations to the teams who are on the front row here. It's really my great pleasure to work with every single one of them, and I look forward to continuing to do so as their research progresses. We wish you all great success with your research, and we look forward to hearing more about your discoveries in the future. So before you go today, please, I encourage you to come up front and meet these teams and talk a little bit about their research. They are all doing amazing things, and I know they can share a lot, and you'll enjoy talking with them. And also, please do have some refreshments, and do stay around. And so maybe you could all join me one more time for a round of applause for our teams.